fear is actually very addictive. There's lots of things to stress about all the time, right? Things are very uncertain. Things are very unpredictable. Things are up and down. And so there's lots to stress about. There's lots to be afraid of. But we actually kind of like it. I think we actually like it. We
like the fear.
Yeah, we like the fear.
Yeah.
We're drawn to it. It's somehow soothing to us. And
like, I think it somewhat makes us feel like we're in control somehow, right? If we think about it and we fear about it and we think of all the possibilities, then but it doesn't, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's why we do it, right? Is that, because it takes a lot of work, actually, right? Like it's exhausting. Anybody who's, dealt with, or chronic stress or, anxiety, it's exhausting. It wears you out. It'll give you burnout, right? It's hard work being afraid. And yet we do it. And I think one of the reasons we do it is because we think that it works. We think that if we just think through every minute detail, then we, somehow, maybe the magic in the universe or something will ward it off. Or maybe we'll think of the thing, if we just thought harder, this bad thing wouldn't have happened. And so next time we just need to think of all the possibilities.
I think if we think of all the possibilities there possibly can be, and then we decide on the best course of action, then we won't have that thing happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the other reason that I think we do it is it ties into that marginal versus long-term thinking, which is that as humans, we're just really lazy. And it's, fear, stress, worry are kind of low energy things in the moment, right? They're easy to do. And it's kind of the easiest way to kind of sit there and do nothing while feeling like we're avoiding catastrophe in the future, right? And
it's really kind of a lazy mind, right? Where you don't want to, And
over time, that energy that it takes to just constantly do it, and it gets addicting and we can't stop, it's the long term where it wears you out, right? It's not in the moment. In the moment, it's easy. So the logical question then is, okay, I know, I admit I'm afraid. There's lots of things that my business is stressing me out. Creating my YouTube channel is stressing me out. Whatever it is, stressing me out. I'm afraid of the unknowns, of the uncertainties. First step, admit the problem, but what do I do about it?
Yeah, and so you got to face it head on. Stop being afraid of the monster in your bed. And I think we need to stop being so afraid of failure, right? In that we like trying things. So often it's like we're afraid of failing. We're afraid of not doing something right or being embarrassed or whatever, right? And so we just don't do things. Well, we need to stop being afraid of those. We need to actually try things.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable or whatever it is, right?
Because so often we just play it safe in the safe zone, in the secure, in the stable, because we're too afraid. But we have to be willing to try hard things and do hard things, and not only like not be afraid of failure, but actually get out and do it. Like sometimes I think we are afraid because we actually aren't doing enough, right? And our mind isn't actually engaged enough in what we are doing on a day-to-day basis.
Right, because you were saying earlier in another conversation we had that, like your mind's like a muscle, right? And courage, right, which is how you overcome fear, is with courage. That's what we call it. Courage is not the absence of fear, right? Courage is action despite fear. Right. And the first time you do something courageous, it's hard, right? It's scary. But as you do it more and more, that muscle strengthens. The problem is we've been lazy and that muscle has become weak, right?
Yeah. And so I think it's like trying things, not being so afraid of failure, but then also like just getting your mind engaged and disciplining your mind to think on other things. And one of the ways to do that is to just be more busy and engaging your mind in what you're doing. I think often we have a lot more time to let our mind wander than what we should, and is what is healthy. And so we wander, that whole lazy mind thing, we wander away to our fears and our worries. And I think one of the best antidotes to that is just get up and do something. Like face your fears. Don't be so afraid of failure. Get out and do something hard. Engage your mind, discipline your mind, and build that muscle, right?
Yeah.
Stop running away from the monster under your bed, right?
Yeah. Get up, do hard things, be courageous, change the world.
And the
right?
reality is sometimes you fall, sometimes you fail, sometimes, life is hard, but get back up and try again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Conquer the dragon, face the monsters, roll back the curse, right?
And I'm just going to say that often when we do avoid things and we go with the lazy fear thing, we actually make the problem bigger in the long run as far as that we're lazy and we're not taking action on things, right? And so it becomes harder in the long run. Whereas if we can actually face that fear and conquer it will hopefully start getting easier as life progresses, because you are building those muscles and you're trying things and you're learning.
And not because the thing that you're afraid of gets smaller necessarily, but because you get stronger.
Yeah.
Right. And even if the things that you're afraid of become bigger, you're growing too. Right. And you just got to grow faster than they do. Right.
I think in the end, the biggest failure is not trying, right? I don't know. I've heard that so many times from different quotes, but like the biggest failure is not trying. It's not actually the failure. It's the not trying to do something. And the only way you're going to succeed is to fail.
Yeah.
Who is it that said that basically success is moving from failure to failure and not giving up along the way, right? Now, don't go out there and do something stupid and then blame us because you failed at it. Be wise. That's maybe a thing we should say. Disclaimer here. We are not responsible for your injuries.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you for being subscribed and watching and liking the videos. The wink, face like the videos. And I would recommend that you now go and watch another one. We'll see you there.